Hi, I'm Jason with TechAU, and I'm here with
Jeremy Stoppelman, CEO of Yelp.com.
And you're also the co-founder?
That's right.
Fantastic. So what are you doing in Australia?
Just here to enjoy the rain. I mean sun.
I believe you have an announcement as well?
I do. As of Wednesday, the site will be opened up, yelp.com.au, and it'll be available for all Australians to check out and write reviews of their favorite local businesses. As well as our award-winning mobile application on iPhone and Android will be available too.
That was a question I had, which platforms it's going to come to, so iOS and Android being the big ones, but what about Windows Phone 7? Is there any plans for support?
Yeah, I don't have a specific date on the Windows 7 app. We do have an app. We'll just need to see about bringing it to Australia, but the iPhone and Android will be available as of Wednesday.
Okay, and are there any differences, or is it essentially the same app from the US coming to Australia, or is there an Australian version, or?
It'll be the same app.
Okay.
So all of the great features that you can find as you travel abroad, if you've used it in the US, will be available here. You'll be able to check in, add tips, add photos from your phone, all those great things.
So if somebody is from America, they come with the app on their phone, they'll just essentially see the new cities.
Yeah.
And what coverage will you have? Like, is it going to be Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, capital cities, or is it going to be essentially everywhere?
We'll have the local business listings for everywhere in Australia. So it's just north of 1 million businesses.
Okay.
But when it comes to reviews, obviously the content will be a little light. There's a little bit of content there, but we're looking to Australians to get involved and add to that.
Sure. So for those people who aren't so familiar with Yelp, it's obviously your entry into the Australian market. A bit of a background for people as to why you started Yelp.
Sure. Yeah, for me, the summer that we started, which was 2004, we were looking for what's going to be the next big consumer internet idea. And one of the things that we were watching was Craigslist disrupt the classifieds business.
Sure.
And so we looked around and said, what other media businesses are ripe for disruption? And the obvious one to us that stood out was this Yellow Pages book that gets delivered, printed out, hundreds of pages, delivered to everybody's door. And there was nothing online that was a better experience. In fact, the book in 2004 was the best experience because you opened it up, and at least you got a photo of the business owner smiling, holding his wrench. He's going to fix your toilet or whatever.
Sure. And
so we thought to ourselves, what would be even better than a pay-to-play model? What would be something that people would flock to on the internet? And the thing that occurred to us is the best way to find a local business is word of mouth. You and I having a conversation about a particular business, what was your experience, how did they treat you, etc. And if we could figure out a way to take that information, bring it online, and allow people to search over it, that would be an incredible way to find local businesses. So that was the inspiration. We built a site that launched in late 2004.
Yep.
And what we found is people actually like to share this type of information. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. So it's been some time since then. Why is it the right time now for Australian launch?
We wanted to come to Australia for quite some time. I mean, it makes sense. We're shared the same language, similar culture. One of the challenges was getting the local data, so we wanted to have the base business listings because we don't like to put people through the pain of entering in all the addresses and phone number. You end up getting pretty crufty data if you do it that way. And so, as it turns out, we ended up in partnership with Census to get the data, and that allowed us to pull the trigger and be here.
Okay, so with that existing data set, is there the ability for the community to add new businesses? Because obviously new businesses open up every day,
Sure.
So to keep that current.
Yeah, we rely on the community to update businesses, and so they'll be able to submit that whether through the website or also on mobile apps. And if they discover a new business that just opened up that's not in the database, you can now add it, and you'll be able to do that from your mobile phone as well as from the website too.
Fantastic. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with Kevin Rose's new startup, Milk. They just released their first application called Oink.
Yeah.
Exactly, so you're across that.
Sure.
Which, rather than rate an entire business and rate what's inside it, your thoughts on that?
That's actually something that we've handled, I think, quite elegantly for a long time. And so as we build up this really deep, rich review content, we're able to start identifying phrases that pop out, that keep coming up. And so typically what that means is if there is a popular dish at a restaurant, we're able to pick out that dish based on what people are saying as they're writing the reviews, and then we surface that as a review highlight.
Okay.
And so when you go, if you browse restaurants, say in the US where there's a lot of review content, we actually have really good review highlights that give you all the best dishes and all this information that you're looking for. So we feel like we've kind of already got that one dialed.
Right, yeah, but you're just sort of taking a different approach rather than the users at it. They're adding a review and then you're algorithmically looking at that and they're pulling out the components inside their business.
Yeah, rather than require people to go through the effort of looking at the menu, entering in every last item, they just talk about what their favorites are, and that actually is an emergent property of review writing, which we think is more elegant.
So, along with the review, people can attach photos. Is there support for video, or have you considered support for video?
We do have a way for local business owners to add video in the US. It's not something that we've done internationally just yet, and it's a paid feature. Mm-hmm. What we feel is that photos are a really easy way for users to add a lot of value. Take a picture, it's helpful to everybody else. Video, it's hard to create a really high quality video, as I'm sure you know better than anybody. And so, making sure that quality bar is high enough such that you're not watching a lot of shaky video where it's moving around and distracting. Mm-hmm. So we feel like between the review content, tips, short tips on the business, photos, that actually paints a pretty good picture. And then if you could have a professional quality video thrown into the mix, then it really makes the whole thing work together nicely.
So there has been some criticism of Yelp that the negative comments tend to outweigh the positives, and that's just human nature, that people tend to write when they have a bad experience rather than a good one. Do you have any strategies to sort of encourage people to leave more positive things when they have good experiences?
Sure. I mean, just to be clear, 80% of reviews on Yelp are 3 stars and up. So if anything, you can accuse us of a positive bias. And the reason why that happens is that when people are writing, it's not just a drive-by review, which is how we sort of refer to reviews on other sites, where there just might be, if you sign up, you're just there to rant or you're there to rave.
Right.
If you remember,
have a cooling off period.
Yeah, and if you remember YouTube, they actually switched from a rating system to a thumbs up, thumbs down. And the reason why they did that, they had a blog post on it, and it was because the rating system was really bifurcated. There was just 1 stars and 5 stars, and they had almost nothing in the middle. And if you look at the review distribution on Yelp, you actually don't see that at all. You actually see a far more even distribution with a positive bias. And I think the reason why that happens is that our contributors are taking the time to really think about their experience. They're writing this review, they're recounting all the details, and then they come up with the star rating. And so as a result, it's more of a nuanced star rating than just a liked it, hated it.
Exactly, yeah. So what is the value proposition for somebody using Yelp? I mean, you can take from the service when other people contribute. You can, if you need to find somewhere to eat, to get your hair done, to get your pet washed. Yeah. So is it really that opportunity or that chance that one day you'll be using the service so that you should really share? Is that why people should use Yelp?
There's certainly good karma. That's always a compelling motivator. You don't want to take, but the reality is the people that are contributing, especially on the review side, are often amateur writers. They love to write, and they live in an urban environment. They experience local businesses. They're often passionate about finding great local businesses and telling the world about them. And so Yelp is really an outlet for that expression. And by joining the community, by participating, they also find an audience. So as there's like-minded Yelpers that are also contributing and writing reviews and responding and complimenting them on their work. And then there's the even wider audience, all the consumers that are just reading it. And so all of those factors come together to be a pretty motivating force. But then there's other lighter ways to contribute. For instance, on the mobile app, you can add photos or do a tip. And those are, it lowers the barrier to participate. And so then you might have people that are just into it for the karmic reasons of like, hey, nobody had added a photo before, so I'm just going to be the first and take care of that. And that's cool too.
We've seen the emergence of check-in deals from Foursquare and Facebook. Does Yelp have a similar offering?
Yeah, for now, I guess a few years, we've had check-ins. So you could check into a business, post it to any of the social networks. And then businesses also can provide check-in offers. So if they want to give a discount for people that check in, they can do so.
So they just go to yelp.com and sign up for that?
Yelp.com.au.
Ah, very good. Okay. You mentioned that you can share out, let's say if you write a review, you can share it out to a social network.
Sure.
What about when I'm finding businesses? Can I filter that list based on my graph, my social graph?
Yeah, so what you'll find is once you join Yelp, you can actually pull in any friends that are also signed up, and you can do that by connecting it with, say, Facebook. And then as any other friends that sign up, they'll get automatically added. And what that'll do is change your search experience. So when you do search for a local business, if any friends have written a review, you'll be able to see it noted there that they've written a review.
Okay, so it might not show up at the top, but as you're scrolling through results, it'll have...
Yeah, it'll call out whether someone that you know has reviewed it. And then also, when you click through and go to the business page, any reviews by friends, or if you find other reviewers you just like, you can follow them. Those will all surface to the top, so you can read those first.
Okay, fantastic.
And even better, even if you don't register for Yelp, you're just browsing the site, if you have a logged in Facebook cookie, we use Instant Connect. And on the business page, we can actually show you any of your friends that have written Yelp reviews, even if you're not logged in as a Yelp user.
Okay, awesome. Is there anything else that you want to add or tell the world about the Australian launch?
I'm just really excited to finally be bringing Yelp to Australia. I think it's a long time coming. It's a very natural extension. I hope that it'll be well received, and I'm very excited to hear what Australians have to say about it.
Have you got demand? Has there been people asking you, writing you, saying we want it in Australia? Is that really why you're coming, or is it just something that's always been on the to-do list and it's fun, you've got the resources and time to do it?
I think it's both. Like, we certainly heard, especially from people that have been in the US and used the service there, they come to Australia for work, or because they're Australian, they come back and they're like, I need Yelp, or why is it Yelp here, when are you bringing it? And so for those folks, I'm happy to be able to say, Wednesday, we're finally here. But then also, it is one of the largest economies of the world. Culturally, the same language, cultural closeness, there's a lot of good reasons to be here, and so I'm very optimistic.
Awesome. Thanks for your time today, appreciate it.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.